I have made a video game for a game jam. The game jam was Inbound Shovel Jam, and the theme was just getting started. And I made a video game within 10 days, and people seem to have really liked it. So I have compiled a list of questions from the live stream of Inbound playing it, the chat, and the game page that I will be answering in this video. This is my game, Fricken Jeff. And the first question that's going to be asked is, why is the name of the game Fricken Jeff? Why is there frick? You see, this one's really easy. My favorite word is frick, and Jeff is a name. That's why. Like, what game engine did I use? If you count it as a game engine, Turbo Warp. Effectively Scratch, the kids programming website, but better. How would I make the character controls? This is the first thing I did, and I'm gonna break down how my character controls work. This is a super deep dive, so if you don't know programming very well, you might want to skip this part. There's two variables, speed X and speed Y. Speed X moves the character by X amount of pixels, and same with speed Y. So speed X was 6 and speed Y was 3. You move horizontally 6 pixels, and vertically 3 pixels. Every frame, we change speed Y by -1. And when we hit the ground, we go back to the surface. We change speed X by right minus left. So if you're holding right, it will be true minus false, or 1 minus 0, which equals 1. So you'll be moving in the positive direction. If you're holding left, it will be false minus true, or 0 minus 1, which is negative. So you'll be moving in the negative direction. And every frame, we will multiply speed X by 0.8. This is a form of resistance. So as you move, you slow down and do speed up. You don't instantaneously start moving. As Inbound said,
and the character controls are nice too. The jumps feel responsive.
When you press jump and you are on the ground, you will jump. And the act of jumping is just setting speed Y to 12. So you will launch up, and then gravity will pull you back down. That's what a jump is. I made that you can only press jump if you haven't jumped already. So if you are holding the jump button, landing on the ground doesn't start another jump. However, releasing the jump button and pressing it again will start that again, meaning you will always initiate a jump as long as you press the jump button while you're in the air at any point, and you keep holding it down until you land on the ground. Another reason why jumping is responsive is because of coyote time. I think that's what it's called. For the people who don't know, it means after walking off a platform for a brief moment, you can still initiate a jump. In my case, it's 5 frames. The reason why you do that is because sometimes it feels like the game didn't accept your jump input. So, a lot of games commonly allow you to jump even if you're technically still on the ground. And the last thing is variable jump height. It's not very noticeable, however, pressing the jump button will make you jump lower than holding the jump button. And this goes back to Super Mario World. I'm pretty sure how that game accomplished that is variable gravity. If you are holding down the jump button, your gravity is lower. When gravity is lower, your jumps will naturally be higher. So you're getting accelerated the same amount, but you're falling slower. And oh boy, we have the hardest part of it all, collision detection. Let's go to Super Mario 64. I know it's a 3D game, but I've implemented something really similar. Every frame, instead of moving the amount like speed X and speed Y, you divide that by 4 and then you move 4 times. So you're taking 4 steps. And if you collide on a step, it'll bring you back to the last step. Now, that would have problems for a 2D game. 3D, it worked decently. But what I did is it separates it. So it moves in the X, detects collision, and then moves in the Y. Slopes were kind of tricky, and I completely gave up on programming falling down slopes. I gave up on that. What I did is when you collide with something on the x-axis, it moves you up and then checks, am I still touching the ground? And then it does that 3 times. So it moves you effectively up 3 pixels, and then if you're not touching the ground anymore, it ends. So every time you move, it moves you up slightly if there's a slope. You're still not out of the ground, meaning you've collided with a wall. It just puts you back like normal. That's how that works.
Wow, that's impressive to get that working. That's just like a.
How did you code the post-it notes? This is in 2 steps. How did you get the post-it note to work? And then how did you get the collision detection? Here's how the post-it note works. You draw. When you draw, it just doesn't erase your drawing. That's it. So it's, yeah. Then every frame, it will literally redraw what you drew. How did you get collision? Collision is like impossible. This was easy. I'm using an extension called Pen Papers, which is like the pen extension, which in Scratch allows me to draw. So everything is being drawn effectively. And Pen Papers allows you to create layers called papers. And there just so happens to be is myself touching paper. And because in Scratch, there's not really any such thing as a hitbox. I mean, you can code it, but it's really complicated. This effectively does exactly what we need. How did you make it that putting a post-it note on top of a wall or a floor disables collision in that area? And no, Turbo Warp does not support it by default. You see, it's actually really simple. If we are touching the level and all 4 raycasts that we shoot in 4 directions for only a limited length do not touch the note or never touch the level. So I'm going to show something on screen like a diagram of the character moving around and showing how the raycast would work. Yeah. Thank you to the Eye of Cosmos on Reddit. Yes, I needed Reddit. Don't ask. Can you go through the door? No. I hate you can't go through the door because you could choose levels. However, secret, you could still choose levels, earlier levels. Do a cool S. There, I drew a cool S. I don't think I can beat the level with this. How does this fit the theme? Art! You are getting started on art! Why the frick did I spell little wrong? I have dyslexia. I have the reading and writing capability of a 6th grader. That's why.